Greetings, valet parking software enthusiasts and professionals. This is John Brockway with a training video on creating validation barcodes for use in the CVPS.net software. Just a quick overview on validations. The purpose of creating validations as opposed to simple discounts in the system is to have a tighter revenue control on who and when a discount can be applied to a ticket. So in the case of discounts, when you allow cashiers to select discounts from a list on the request process, there's very little restriction on what discounts can be applied. However, if your model of applying discounts requires that the customer present upon checkout a unique encrypted barcode in order to receive a discount, that pretty much ensures that only the people that have received the validation can actually receive a discount, and it offers much tighter revenue control than simply a cashier selecting from a list of available discounts. So before we get started in creating those discounts, there are a few prerequisites that need to be set up in the system. One of those is going to be discounts, which can be found under the revenue menu option. So here under revenue, I have discount defaults. Now the creation of discounts is another training topic unto itself, and it will be covered in another training video, but just to illustrate, I have quite a few discounts already set up in the system. The various discounts are flat dollar amounts off or percentage off. Thirdly, the last kind of discount is a discount that instead of taking a flat dollar off or a percentage off, it actually effectively switches the rate on a ticket. So let's say you have a $5 an hour base fee, but this particular customer, they're there for an event or a special promotional thing. Maybe they get $2 an hour. So in that case, you would create a discount that switches the rate. I'm not going to dive any further into how discounts work because that'll be covered in another section, but I can see here that I've got discounts available to choose from, so I'm all set on that end. The next step is to double check that we have some discount companies available. Now, the purpose of discount companies is that you are required to choose a company when you create validations, so that any validation is always tied to a company, and later on a report at the end of the month, if you want to see how many validations for what total dollar amount discounted were used by the P.F. Chang's company, you can go ahead and run that report. So I can see here I have companies set up and I'm ready to go on that end. Finally, we want to check a couple of system settings to make sure they're ready to generate validations. I'm going to go to System and then System Defaults. And then under the Parking tab, I'm going to scroll down a couple pages. And here we have the setting Use Encryption on Validations. So in 99% of installations and implementations, you're going to use validation encryptions. So this training will focus only on this functionality in the CVPS.net software. This setting will only be turned off in special cases where a location has generated their own number range of barcodes through some external system. It's a much less secure method of doing validations, and it's really it's necessary most of the time to use this setting. So I'll focus on this. I can see It's already set right. And then finally, we're going to want to make sure that the correct printer is configured as the one that's being used to generate these validation labels. That's under the Printers tab, and it's going to be labeled the validation printer. I'm going to go over here to my spec sheet that shows Dymo Label Writer 400, which is currently the model that is compatible with the CVPS.NET software. So this, if you're generating validations, this is the one you'll be using. There are a few tips you'll want to run through in using this hardware. If you don't load the paper correctly, you have a potential to damage the print head, etc. When you load the roll, you want to make sure that both of the end pieces are plenty tight around the roll and that it doesn't wiggle. Other than that, the printer is fairly simple. Alright, so I have my printer setting correct. I'm using validation barcodes, validation encryptions. So I'll go ahead and close this. Now we're ready to generate our validations. So I'm going to go to Revenue and then Validations. And here we see a record for each instance of validations being generated. And what you see here is the discount associated with the validation, the start validation and end validation number, the date it was created, and the date that these validations will expire. I can see here that the start number matches the end number in this case. So when this instance was generated, only one validation was created. In the row below, validation 2 and validation 3 was created at the same time. So I can see that 2 were actually created during this instance. So I'm going to go ahead and create my validation by clicking Add. I'm going to choose the $5 off discount. So again, the top drop down is going to be the discount that you wish to apply. The bottom drop down will be the company that you'll be tracking and associated with this discount. When you generate the validations, you can add any notes that you'd like into this field. I'm going to say validations were given to George Costanza at PF Chang's. So as soon as I print these out, I'm going to give these to George. And I'm going to generate 3 validations. Now, I get an error because I don't have the Dymo Label Writer available to do this training video. However, you will not get an error if you have that printer connected, and it will go ahead and print those validations. If I scroll to the bottom, I can actually see my validations were generated. You can see the start number ended in 19 and the end number ended in 21. I definitely generated 3 discounts, 3 validations that will be able to apply a $5 flat discount to any ticket up until the year 2099, which I think we're good for a while there. Okay, so the last step is to show you how to apply this validation to the parking fee of any ticket. So I'm going to go to Vehicle Requests, 300,591. Now this is a ticket I happen to know is already currently parked in the system. I can see here the system calculated a $20 fee. And to apply the discount to it, I'm going to click the Discounts button here. Now I can't illustrate this point because I don't have a printer, but the next step is to actually click in the scan field here And typically you'll have a USB scanner, a black scanner, either a Symbol, a Metrologic, or a Honeywell, where you'll scan that validation barcode, it will fill in the numbers here, and a discount will show here. So to illustrate that, I'm actually going to select the discount manually. So it will look just like this after the scan. Now if I want to subtract that discount, I can click this here and remove it and then save the window. There won't be any change to the parking fee over here. However, I want to apply a $5 discount, so I'm going to save this window. Now I can see the discount was applied. My new fee is $15. And continue to pay via any payment method that's available in the system. And there you have it. $5 discounted on the ticket. That is how to create validations and how to apply them to a parking fee. Thanks for watching, and tune in for next time.